Okay, we should be live now. So let's wait the confirmation from the forum that we are live. Let's put this in post, but we should be live. So just checking if the audio is okay. Audio works. Okay, hello guys. Welcome back. Another episode of this one. Today I'm alone because I think the plan is to do like one stream where there is more coding and driving and do stuff, and other streams where I'm actually inviting somebody over on Skype from the team, so we can have a chat with them, and perhaps you can get some questions answered that usually don't get answered by me. So yeah, very exciting, very incredibly busy weekend. Is we are like in that period where we're getting close to the date where we will stop putting new stuff for the new version. So everybody's excited, everybody's trying to put as much stuff as possible inside, which is really sometimes the difficult part of having updates so close one to another. It's very difficult to do something big because you need to make sure that what you did is not breaking stuff, and it's in case it does break stuff, there are situations where you find that we find that once it goes and beta testers start to report too many errors, sometimes you have to take it out, and it's always sad. Also because when stuff get take out, you sort of lose interest and excitement for that thing. So yeah, but anyway, very exciting. Also personally, I finally was able to come out of a big job that I was doing, and that took the good part of the last 2 months for me. And sadly, when you are in a small company like we are, sometimes there are things to do, and in this case I was the only one really able to do it, and so I had to learn stuff that suddenly I cannot talk about, but it's really stuff that I generally don't know anything about, don't like, and yeah, I had to spend the last couple of months working on it. So I'm pretty much 99% done. So yeah, I really look forward to be able to spend a little bit more time, possibly not in the weekend, working on stuff that you guys can enjoy and see in the game. So just a quick recap of where we are from last time. It was I thought it was funny last time. I announced that we did the full start, and literally I think after 20 minutes that the stream was closed, there was already a message like oh, there will be an option to turn off the full start, and you can imagine the face palm. But that's really, I think it really explains a lot about how difficult it is to make changes to a software that is already used by so many people, because whatever you change, anything you change, you will find somebody that will not be happy with that change. And of course, yeah, the typical thing is to say, okay, make it an option. But as I try to explain many times, it's having an option on something just doubles your work, because you need to keep maintaining both systems. So there are things that can be easy, there are things that are a total nightmare. One of the things that I would really like to simplify in Assetto Corsa, for example, is we have settings where you can put fuel consumptions higher or off, and then you have a separate setting for the tires, and that is creating, you know, a huge number of combination of things that possibly don't make any sense. So you can have, like, you know, fuel off, but, you know, tires four times, and that's, especially when it comes to AI, it just makes everything even more complicated than it already is. So yeah, so lots of things happening. Quickly talking about this full start thing, we had a chat these days with the guys, and of course there are different feeling about this, and you know, the easiest solution of course was to have a simple teleport, and that, if you want, fix the problem of people that might be creating problems online, like, you know, they can start hitting everybody, things like that. And but then, you know, we sort of talked about it, and Manuel Darin, you know, he is amazing. The guy is totally amazing, and you know, he just went on he started to code a drive-through penalty system by himself. So and then we started to talk, and then we thought, you know, we shouldn't really design the software around people that have as the only aim is the one to ruin the experience for other people. We should design the software for the guys that actually enjoy using it. So I understand that teleporting is a big immersion breaker, and that drive-through, with all the problems that come with drive-through, is you know, it's a much better system. So definitely we are going to try to put in the system with drive-through, which also opens up some interesting possibilities. You can have we will have, probably is going to be almost free, the possibility for admins in a race to just assign a drive-through to a driver if they want to, and also expose this through the server plugin interface. So the server plugins will be able to administer drive-through to drivers. One thing that is important to understand every time we talk about things that involve rules is that if you start to look at it from a very superficial point of view, rules might sound easy, but they in practice they never are. There is always a huge amount of human evaluation of the situation into the rule. So let's take, for example, a blue flag. A lot of people ask, you know, we should have penalty for people that don't respect blue flag. Now that's tricky, because although it's very easy to think about a rule for that, like, you know, you get a blue flag and you need to let the guy pass, but there could be so many, again, situation and corner cases where, you know, you cannot really let the guy pass. Imagine a situation where a guy is in a situation in the race where, you know, I don't know, maybe his car is damaged or whatever, and he's not passing you, or, you know, he's not passing you for whatever reason, and then, you know, he's not passing you, and then you get black flag because he's not passing you. So it's like you can get into some ridiculous corner cases that, yeah, I agree they are rare, but, you know, the software should still try to analyze those. And at the moment, I think it's pretty hard. Imagine also a situation where you are in a moment of the race where you're faster of the guy that is in front of you and has one lap more than you, and so you want to, you know, pass him. And, you know, if you start to put a blue flag that you need to let this guy go, as soon you pass him, you need to pull away from him very quickly. Otherwise you get disqualified. So there are all this kind of situation. Same thing with the yellow flag. The rule could be pretty easy. There is one rule that can be easy, and is the rule that when there is a yellow flag, you are not supposed to do your fastest intermediate time in that sector of the track. That's pretty easy, and there are situations there, but we can assume that it should be pretty easy. But situation where you cannot overtake, but what if the guy in front of me locked up his tires and he made a mistake or whatever? I mean, should I stop and wait for him to rejoin? It's like it's all this difficult situation that can happen, and so yeah, it becomes difficult. And something else that is important to understand is that in real racing, first of all, they don't have the possibility to do all the things that we can do in a simulation. Like, I'm pretty sure that if there was a possibility in real life to teleport somebody that did a full start back to the pit, I'm sure that that would be the right solution, because I always had a problem with drive-through, and that is that okay, this guy jump starts. So imagine a situation where you have a guy that is in 5th position and I am in pole, and this guy jump starts, and there you go, at the first corner he will be in front of me. Okay, he's got a drive-through, and so he will have to stop eventually. But then me, that I was in pole, I need to deal with this guy that is in front of me and shouldn't be there for one lap. And one lap could be 1 minute in Vallelunga short, but could be 8 minutes on the Nordschleife. So many things can happen. And in real life, I suppose that if you jump start and you get a drive-through, and then you go on and you do something stupid, and because of you take out a couple of cars, in real life you have your your racing license, and you have your championship that you're participating. So there are many ways in real life to sort of make you pay for what you did after the fact, after the race is over. Of course, this is not really possible in a simulation where we need to think about this very short time of where nothing exists before and nothing exists after, which is the world of pickup racing on the internet. And there you go. But yeah, so the decision is to try to do this drive-through thing, and I will keep you informed how that goes on. Some other improvement that were done during this week. I managed to improve the movement of the car in multiplayer. You see, if you play Assetto Corsa in multiplayer, you've seen this for sure, where you have a car that is going over the curb and is sort of bouncing like this in a very unrealistic way. So I was able to rework the algorithm for that, and it seems much better now. So that's an improvement. Then probably if you follow my YouTube channel, you've seen a video appearing last night, pretty late, about midnight, and pretty much this couple of days I'm concentrating on artificial intelligence. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. Redesign the way the AI is handling the situation when there are cars on the side. Before, the way it worked was that it was sort of trying to create an algorithm somehow similar to a spring, where the more a car on your side was coming near you, the more you were reacting, the AI was reacting, trying to get out from that. The big problem with that is because there is a huge lag between the time that the AI says, okay, I want to move like 2 meters on my right, and the time where actually the AI moved 2 meters on the right. What is happening is that because of that lag, the spring had to be so strong, the algorithm spring, that what you've seen most of the time is this AI car ending up on the very opposite on the very side of the track, and that was a problems. It created very, very weird looking starts where there was this huge gap in the middle where a player was sort of invited to get in, but then if you probably experienced this, as in real life, if you try to do that, if you try to go in Monza 3 wide in the first corner, it's gonna be trouble. So but the software in a way looked like almost was inviting you to do that. So I think there is an improvement there, but the most important improvement is that if the AI doesn't end up on the very limit of the track, it means that the AI is closer to what the ideal line in that corner is, and that means that in case when the AI is one, on the side with another car, they will both be faster because they will be both closer to the ideal line, so they will not have to brake as much as they were before. When they were on the inside, they were really thinking, oh my god, I need to do this entire corner on the inside, and really on the inside. Right now, you will see, I will try a couple of races because that's what I'm doing these days. Today I'm just trying to just race and see how the AI is behaving. If there are problems, of course, there are still problems. In this case, they are not really related to what I'm doing, but the usual problem where the AI decides that she wants to pass the player or another car, but really there isn't enough space in order for the AI to complete the maneuver to get on the side and pass. And so that's what is happening most of the time when the AI is hitting you. It's usually that, or it's you going into their line where you shouldn't. So let's go just straight into this. Let's try a race and let's see how it's going. I will not put the AI very high because I want to be in a situation where I want to be able to possibly attack them, because I want to see how they fight for the position, if they fight at all. If I put the AI too fast, of course, it's going to pull away from me, and that's not really what we are trying to test in this stage. We are trying to test the situation where we are side to side, and the AI shouldn't give up that easily. So let's try this one. Silverstone is not really a track that I know very much. I don't race here at all. Yesterday I've been driving the usual Vallelunga, Brands Hatch, Imola. So I try to do the tracks that I'm not really that familiar with. I also put myself to start in the middle of the pack. start in the middle of the pack to be, so the start is more complicated. You've seen already that, you know, they didn't really go for the hole in the middle. I get this guy here. I keep harassing him. Very slippery. He's still there. Yeah, this is the typical situation where in the old version he would just give up, let me pass. As I said, I'm not super fast on this track, I barely know it. Wide here. Let's see if he goes. Yeah, he's trying. He gave up. I totally lost awareness of where he is. Here he is. I think this is very fast, right? Again, to probably test this, I should be able to try to find a rhythm that allow me to catch these guys in front. Bit of action in front of me. In this situation, he should have been a little bit smarter and passed me. It's a difficult maneuver. He will have to wait to attack me and then go for it. Oops, it's gone. I can pass him again. A bit wide. Whoa. I'm all over the place. I think two of them passed me. I'm really not competitive on this track. I lost tracking on this. Not really good example of attacking this one because I just can't. Look up behind me, almost 3 wide. Yeah, the Lambo went through. This corner is so difficult. Wise, I'm not that far from them, so if I can keep it together, I should be able to get close to these guys. In this case, the gear protection didn't work. They are so busy trying to pass themselves. They're losing a lot of time. I'm definitely faster than them now. Not really, we're all lapping in 2.8. Still very polite there. Still fast. He left me the space, but not completely giving up on the position like they used to. If I had a little bit more traction, I could have. Trying again here, but there's absolutely no way to pass here. See if I can try to organize an attack on these guys. Dive bombing. Still there. Okay. Still there. Still there. There you go. And this is exactly what I want to see. This is exactly what I want to see. So he didn't give up. He didn't give up. Of course, you know, when I'm driving. Oh, not distracted there. When I'm driving against the AI, I'm not really a good tester for this stuff because I know the algorithms they use. So in a way, I think my instinct is not to do things that I know will create a problem to them, which makes everything even more complicated because then you know you read stuff online about people saying that the AI is doing this and that, and you know they cannot use it. But there you go. You know, I think during these streams, you know, I had enough races to, and they're 3 wide over there, and it really doesn't happen to me, sadly. And if I cannot make it happen, it's very difficult for me to fix it. If I don't understand what people are doing. I also have my computer acting a little bit strange lately. Get this micro freezing. Also had Okay, so that it was the race. Let's see if we can see a little bit of that fight on the last lap. If I have a better camera, yeah, should be more TV camera. Yeah, this is my dive bomb. BMW there was holding the line. It didn't. You can see, especially right here. You can see. Look where he is. He's not really down here. Is down here. Is using the track much better. He's still giving me lots of space to do my things, but you know, he's not down there, and you know, and he's using the track very well. Even there, you know, it didn't. Even here is another good example. You know, it's very polite here, so he's in the inside. But then, as soon he realized that he's got a little bit of space, let's see how much space he's got for Rio. Yeah. As soon as he realized that he's got the space and he's got the speed to take the ideal line, there you go, he goes back into the ideal line. So, not bad. Right, let's try another one. What time it is? Okay. Let's try another one, and then I want to show you also something else. Let's try Mugello. It's another track that I never use. And Mugello is potentially a mess because it's full of fast corners. So if you start to give up in a fast corner, you will lose lots of speed. So same situation, same cars, and still starting in the middle of the pack. Very good start. Very good start here. Or the eye is lower. Or I know the track a little bit better than Silverstone. Anyway, we got 2 positions back. 7th to 5th. Moving on. Very aggressive, this guy behind me. I don't know what to do. I still get position. He was trying to get in the inside in a strange place. This is a difficult corner for the eye. They always end up a little bit wide. Battle in front, also behind me. Mercedes is back on me, very aggressive. Oh, he lost the position. First lap in 52, I am at 54. Definitely slower than everybody. Still not smooth as I would like. The graphics, no idea why. I do have a new graphic card, but it's supposed to be much faster. Nothing much happening race for me. I did a 52, which is good. Oh, the Nissan is gone. I have the better line here. Oh, that was great. Still going, still going. Better line here. Ah, this is so much fun. I want to rewatch that attack as soon as we get on a straight line. I don't have much replay, so keep having micro freezes. Watch that first lap attack. Very well played. Very, very well played. Last lap. Push a little bit over my talent, try to get the Nissan, but all I'm doing is allowing this, what is it, a McLaren behind me to get close. Whoa, that was aggressive. He got me. Yeah. Well done, McLaren. Let's see this one. Nice pass. This was a little bit too aggressive for my taste. But yeah, a little bit too aggressive for my taste. I really didn't move through that corner. Bang! I really don't know if I was moving. Let's see if we can get a better view of what happened. Was I moving inside? Not really in the right place to judge. So where should we go? See this? So the question is, was I moving was I changing the line? Desperate trying to justify my artificial intelligence. Yeah, I think it's both of us doing the wrong thing. Both of us. Anyway, that was aggressive. It was cool. let's check I'm still live. Yes, Stefano, you went left. Yeah, I think so, but I don't want to justify the AI all the time. Right, I want to do something else now, that I want to show you something that is really work in progress. And to set up this test, we do something a little bit silly. So we go to Vallelunga Club, and so put a little bit more laps. Where are we? And on the last car, we put an Abarth 500. So if you know Assetto Corsa, you know that this is something that Assetto Corsa doesn't like to do. Doesn't like to have a very slow car together with fast cars. What is happening usually is that the slow cars gets behind, gets all the fast cars get stuck behind the 500 Abarth. So what is happening here is that we will start, and it's a short track, so in a couple of laps we should be able to lap the 500. And what I want to do is I want to see how the AI is going to deal with it. So the plan here is to try to stay in this position, keep like 5 or 6 cars in front of me. So when time comes to catch the 500, let's see if they get stuck behind them. No, come on, I don't want to pass you. Come on, take the position. Vallelunga is sort of my home track, so I tend to be faster here. Look at these two guys. Go Nissan. Lapping in 14. First lap. In I reckon 3 or 4 laps we should be able to catch up with the 500. 49s and 50s here. Still no 500 in sight. Probably it's going to be next lap. I think I saw the 500 there. I think they are there now with the 500, so let's see what's going on. Hopefully they're not too far so we can see. Okay, so one car is gone, another one is gone. They are parking behind. This is gone, this is gone. Let's wait to see what the others are doing. I slow down, so I'm checking on the mirror. And yeah, they are passing. They are not super fast in passing, but they are passing nevertheless. Let's see how the situation is. All GT3s here. So yeah, small improvement. Still not great. I think at the end, with this kind of situations, it's a combination of two things. It's really a combination of the slow car cooperating somehow with the fast car, but at least we don't get a situation where they comically park behind the car doing nothing. So what is happening right there is that now the AI sort of understands that the car in front is not as powerful as your car, so it's sort of switching to completely different rules of engagement, and is moving out of the line and trying to pass much quickly. What was happening there is that some cars didn't move fast enough, so they were engaged with other GT3 cars, and so they couldn't really move out of the way. Still not perfect, but I think it's an improvement. So yeah, it's 1 hour. Time goes so fast when we drive. So if you got some questions, guys, now it's the time. AI sounds like a nightmare to code. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's not. There are so many situations that you have to consider and translate into math. So, and especially testing is difficult because if especially me, I always drive in the same way, so I tend to just test a limit amount of possibilities. Why I don't use Helicorsa for those tests? I don't know. I just like the fact that I don't see them. I find it a little bit more realistic. Any information on a new Fmod SDK update? We don't have plans to change Fmod if we don't find bugs that stop us. We really don't want to change. We really don't want to change Fmod and break all the mods again. Absolutely. Was a guy saying why I use Visual Studio instead of code blocks. I don't know, why should I use code blocks? Since you are developing for the PS4 and the Xbox, is he getting better with AMD GPU on the PC? No, not really. No, there isn't much specific you do. I mean, there is nothing that we do to make it go faster on NVIDIA. It's just, at the end of the day, the advantage of an API like DirectX is that you just code with DirectX, and so there is nothing specific AMD or the other one. Oh my god, guys! So So many questions, so fast I cannot read. Why doesn't AI use ABS? Yes, that's a very good question, and you are totally right. I should turn off those braking mistakes for cars with ABS, because they actually are using ABS. So yeah, you're right. Have I unpacked the Vive? No, it's still there, but you know, time is coming. You know, as I said, I almost finished what I had to do, and so I will have, you know, more time to look into it. My plan is to spend another 2 or 3 days on AI, and then switch, do another couple of days on Boar. Hey Nikki, is 1.7 getting tire models update? Yes, we have a new tire model, but you know, we will have time to talk about that. Can we have only virtual mirror on with no in-car mirrors? I don't understand. No, I would say no. I don't understand why you would want to. Can you make dials move on the dashboard? Not right now. Not right now. How about flag? My God, so fast, guys. How about flags in the tires that say the tire is gravel in a multi? Oh my God, I don't understand. How about the flag in the tires that says that tire is gravel and the multiplier that multiplies the surface, which differentiate? Basically, you want to try to do gravel surface physics, and if it's something that is not in Assetto Corsa, you know, there is no point for us to. Can I say your name? Lars Walter. Could you code some options for online league for BOP, like engine power ride height? Yeah, that would be interesting. Well, ride heights, you should be able to do that for with the setup. So probably could be something to do with you know, another setup. So I mean, you can do it fixed setup. I wonder what we could do with the engine. I don't know. Tricky. If I have plans to allow pit stop during practice session, I think it's a very reasonable thing to do. Is there any plans for implementing driver change at time race? Driver change, no, absolutely no plans. Time race, yes, it's been in our to-do list for ages. But driver change, no, I just don't see that happening for this version of Assetto Corsa. So, is there a plan to increase the telemetry and car data passed to the API to external app like Slimax Manager? Not concrete plan, unless we get somebody to tell us, you know, what exactly to do with. Not right now. You're saying about the mirror, the virtual mirror, have only one in the center, not in the car, to save resources. It doesn't save anything because it's basically the same image. The what you see in the virtual mirror is exactly the same thing that you get in the wing mirror, so you will not save anything basically. Let me see. Will the collision system improve in the future? Now, if you touch a wall, with the rear end while drifting. The car sticks to the wall. I don't know. I think the downshift protection doesn't always work quite right. You're right. You can still lock up wheels. Well, it's not really about locking wheels. What you shouldn't be able to do is to over rev the engine. But it's not really about locking the tires. It's to protect the engine. Any chance to make the force feedback more reactive during oversteer? I don't understand what it means. You know, there isn't something special happening during oversteer that doesn't happen in normal driving. It's just the way the tire reacts. So. Automatic auto clutch. Yes, I forgot that. Yes, I forgot something. Hold on. I forgot to do the FAQ from last time. Just 1 second. I will answer this question. Sorry about that. I was supposed to do this at the beginning. So, yeah, I remember because there was this question. It was like, you know, if the car used paddle shift, it is possible to automatically turn on the automatic clutch. Yes, it's possible. We did that. So it's exactly how it's working now. So. And that was Gabriel Wong, and then there is then 1337. Correct me if I'm wrong. I remember something about you say. Let me switch so you can read the questions. You can read the question now. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you're saying that the server currently dictates the traction control ABS settings, no matter what the user has set. Okay, this is very confusing, and we are working on the user interface about this because it's very confusing. And the answer is yes. At the moment, the server is the one that decides whether your traction control is enabled, is in factory mode, is on or is off. And you're totally right that there are situations where you think you put some option there, and then you find yourself with another option. So probably the ideal solution will be to have like a fourth option on the server, which is just let the user decide. Right now, the improvement that I have, let me see if I can show you this locally. The improvement is, if you look at the starting, you see here it tells you the informations about what the server settings are. So, and you will find, we will also try to put this in the user interface before you start. And then again, you get the same informations here of, whatever, mirror, fuel rate, auto clutch, blah, 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 blah. So all these things there. EOBIT decision. Since car graphics are super detailed, when does he think racing games will have similarly detailed environments as games like Crysis, Rage, Doom, and all these, blockbuster? I think it's the answer is that the answer is difficult. First of all, there is much more detail in the track that you can realize. Things like curbs have an incredible amount of details, for example, in Assetto Corsa, but because you are passing um, over them so fast, you end up losing completely that detail. So that's the point. Those games that you just named are usually games that are designed to be played where the character is either walking or running. So everything is at that kind of level because you have time to see it. On racing games, first of all, you have a huge amount of polygons used for the road. If you compare probably the road for for a typical racing game with the one you have in a road that you can have in Crisis or Rage, you will easily find that there is 10 times the detail in the road that you have in those games. So it's just a matter of how you use the budget of what you have available. And also the other thing is, all these games are basically developed by teams of several hundred people. So that's that. And unless we get into a situation where a racing game can sell as much as a Doom or a role play game, it's very unlikely. It's always going to be a matter of you do what you can do with the kind of resources you have available. Let's go to Oini. He's got lots of questions. Let's see. He's asking about the renaming of replays, which is something that is coming right now. In fact, here in my documents, I should have a folder called temp. Right now it's empty because I think I launched that the thing to check the server. But right now, what is happening is that every time a session is terminated, a replay gets saved here. So at the end of every time you go out from the simulator, you will have a list of files here. Eventually the launcher will show you all these files, and they will be named like race 1, race 2. You will also have the possibility to disable the system, or you also have the possibility to say, well, I want to save my race, but I don't want to save my qualify, for example, things like that. So it's coming, that one, but probably was asking something else, something to renaming of replays on save, which I think it's something you can do when you save. You show the name, so I don't understand completely the question. Then there is a question about the BOP for the GT3 on the server, and to be honest, I don't know. Then he's asking blah blah blah, lots of stuff. Will you have this and that car? And then he's saying the replay will be able to pick a spot as a spectator and just use that camera point to watch replay. You can already do that if you enable. I don't remember exactly how to enable the F7 camera, external camera, which is the one that I was using in the stream to move wherever I want, and then you can just go wherever you want and watch the replay. Then he's saying when we are going to do a meetup. That would be interesting to do some sort of Kunos con or something like that. That could be cool. Let's move on. Lots of questions. Jackson is asking about the centrifugal growth, and yes, it's done. It's done, ready for the new tire model. So, but don't get obsessed about the stuff. You're talking about probably fraction of millimeters at high speed on a radial tire, so it's not really worth to lose your sleep over this. But definitely, yes. Anyway, it's coming with the next version. Then Savig. um, why is so different to choose the grip percentage on a single player compared to a multiplayer server? Well, first of all, the code is different. So on the client, on the single player, the client code written in C++ is running, while when you are in multiplayer, the server code written in Go is running. The logic behind these two systems is very, very similar, but the way the user interface is very different, because on the single player you have things like green and slow and whatever the launcher gives you, and those are then they get translated into numbers, while on the server you have full control of the numbers themselves. So it's just it's just that you can assume that somebody that is putting up a server knows a little bit more what he's doing compared to the one using on the client and just want to do a quick decision on whatever. And then the question if I open the Vive, and then asking about asymmetrical suspension and COG, which sadly, the answer is always, if ever we get a car that needs that, we will sort of be forced to do it. But unless there is a car that is using that, I don't see that happening. Blah blah blah. So let's see. Anas Mark says that it's very easy to cut through corners in a race even with penalties on, and it will like an option to get the penalty as soon you cut through a corner. And it's like that how Assetto Corsa used to be, and then people complain that it was getting penalties. So it's always difficult. I think the best thing to do is make sure that if you have a place where you can cut and get time without getting a penalty, make sure that you report that in the forum so we can fix it. How does the less powerful knowledge for the car work exactly? Is it feasible for mixed class situation? The way is doing it is calculating something that I call the power class index, which is simply speaking power over mass. So it's getting an easy indication of what kind of performance you might expect from that car. It's not very scientific because there are lots of stuff involved into that, like wings and things like that. But pretty much that's the idea. Of course, the more the distance become close, like GT3, GT4, the more the more is it becomes complicated, of course, because we need to analyze. I need to try, for example, GT3, GT4, and try to understand what kind of power index they get, and see, if there is enough, difference so that the switch that is using is actually turning into an overtake. I still think that there is a combination. I mean, it's not just the car that is passing, but it's also the car that is being passed that is sort of collaborating. So there is definitely work to do there. Any clutch system changes needed for the full stored system? No, I don't think so. Asking, there was David that was saying something. Hello, David Dominguez. tire centrifugal growth is important. Yeah, it's true, it's true. So it's coming. So yeah, the original plan was to try to make it for the Red Bull race, but I can tell you already that we're not gonna make it. So no point in hoping. You will, if you follow the stream, you will see at a certain point you will see me saying, well, we closed the feature for the 1.7. So, and that will mean that, you know, from that point is going to be probably 1 maximum 2 weeks before it gets released. Usually that's how it works. But definitely, yeah, the hope to make it for next week GP, we tried, but you know, we just couldn't make it. It was impossible to do it. Sorry about that. Is it possible to extend any track with more pick box in the future? Yes, it is possible, but that will automatically mean that more people will try to race with 28 cars, and they might get into CPU problems, and that will turn into bug report and people that are not happy about the game. So probably, yeah, it is possible, but we're not gonna do it. Can the tire wear be split, for example, into 3 zones? Yeah, it's a very logical extension of the patch system that we have to include that, and that means that you will also get the effect of a how you say, flat, not flat, how you say, with your lock tire and flat spot, you will get the effect of a flat spot automatically out of it, which is nice. I will not say anything about the cars in the next update, but you know, all I can say is that I hope, I really think that you guys, you know, will really enjoy the cars that we've chosen for the next update. Right. Will we see the Trento Bondone also on the console version? I don't know. No, you will not. That's the answer. I just checked, and no, you will not. There is no Trento Bondone on the console. Will visual tire wear be a thing? I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna do that. Well, it's one of those things that, you know, literally, it's like we have, like, you know, 1 million of these very small things that will take half a day to develop. It's just that you need to choose. Well, first of all, you need to discover if you have a half day available, and then you need to choose between all these millions of things that you can do. There was an interesting question from, I don't remember where I read that. Could have been Reddit, or I don't remember. And he was asking, the guy was asking if you know, if I could have, like, you know, unlimited CPU power, if what would be the first thing that I will do. And the sad truth is that at the moment we are not really limited on the CPU power, at least on the PC. On the PlayStation, yes, we are, but on the console, not on the PlayStation. But On the PC, no, we're not really limited. There is so much CPU power that can be used. So at the moment, um, my limit is me. It's not really the CPU. So the answer is probably nothing different than what I'm already doing. Because we are already, really at the max of what we can do as a team with the kind of production we're doing. So it's not really the hardware that is stopping us. Of course, hardware will give you immediate advantages like running more cars or things like that. So you could start having, if you had like a 16 core CPU or something, maybe you can run a 40 car race. But at the moment there is nothing that I can think about in the physics that is really limited by the CPU. I thought we were, so when the GPU is not fully used, what's the bottleneck? It could be, it really depends on what kind of CPU you have. But generally speaking, I got a CPU right now that if I start to put the settings down with the CPU, I can do like 300 frames per second on Assetto Corsa. So that shows you that the CPU side can pretty much deliver very solid performance. So at the end, it's still the GPU that. Stefano, any thought about the PS4 Neo and Xbox Scorpio? No, I don't have much to say. Honestly, every time it comes to console, I feel like I don't even know what I can say about stuff. So, yeah, I will just say nothing at all. Lino says the more color I add, the less graphic power is used. That's absolutely right, because the CPU does more work at that point. So it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. Definitely, there are things that can be done in the engine to make it more fast on the CPU side, especially things like organizing memory in a continuous way, so the software doesn't have to jump around the memory to get data, and that's basically the trick that that game developer is using right now. Is really the thing, is that one plus the multi-thread. In Assetto Corsa we tend to prefer to use multi-thread more for physics than for graphics. On the console, where you need to have that, you need to do it. You need to do the multi-thread, because if you don't do the graphics multi-thread, you basically cannot really get to a level of performance that gets you anywhere close to 60 frames per second. So we had to do that for the console. The problem on the PC, I think I talk about this in other stream. You can do it on the PC, but you don't solve really many problems, because you're still developing against the minimum spec, and that's the one that you need to care about. So if our minimum spec is in our case in Assetto Corsa is a dual core, which is unbelievable if you think about it right now, but so you can do really crazy stuff with multi-thread and dividing, for try to use 8 cores or 16 cores for the next CPUs. But at the end of the day, you still need to deliver a game that a guy that bought it 2 years ago and he's got a dual core, he needs to still be able to play it. So it's very difficult to do this kind of engine changes when the software is already released. Usually what you do, you call it a day at a certain point and say, okay, I'm done, let's work on next assetto corsa. And then you start to think, well, okay, so what's going to be my minimum hardware, the minimum requirement for the hardware, and then you design your graphic engine, a physics engine, everything on that. Okay. Has Arik experimented yet with aerodynamic that is sensitive over body roll? I don't think so. And he's already struggling to find data on yaw variations. So it's same thing that we have right now with brakes. We are a little bit struggling because we're trying to find some data to validate our stuff, but at the moment our contacts are not being very responsive, so we are a bit sitting ducks at the moment on that, and so we will see. Right, guys, it's 1 hour and a half, so I think I will close this one now, and I will give you appointment to next Sunday for the next episode. Please remember that whatever you're writing on the chat will be gone in like a couple of minutes after the stream is closed. So if you want to leave a questions, please do it in the comment section, because when I will prepare for the next stream next Sunday, I will just go in the comment section here and have a look to the questions. Also, if you already post a question in the last stream and you didn't see me answering, most probably the answer is no, or no plans and so on. So it's like there is no point really if you do the same question again. Usually I try to get the question where I have something interesting to say. If I have to say no, it's not possible, I will avoid that. So assume that if you don't see your question, the answer is sadly no, and already what the reasons are behind being no. It's not because it's a stupid idea or it's not something that is useful, but there is only a certain amount of stuff that we can do. So that's it. Okay, guys, see you next time, and ciao.